wish you'd understand. I just wish that God had a better plan. I'm so confused. I need a redo. Inside of me that's begging and begging and pleading. I just wanna feel free. I just wanna feel lovely. I'm surrounded by love that's in pain. Can I wipe your tears away? Please don't hurt for me. I hate that it's for me. It's for me.
Hi, welcome to the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. Thank you to Amber K for that amazing introduction into the show. Amber K is warrior number 2. She is a singer-songwriter that wrote I Hate That It's For Me. Please check out her episode. Me and Amber have teamed up just to try to help people understand what it's like living with a chronic disease and how you have to keep on fighting the fight every day. My name is Brian. I am the MS Michigan Man 64. Before I got diagnosed 28 years ago, I was playing football at the University of Michigan, and I went from living that lifestyle to 4 years after that being diagnosed with MS, and I talk about my journey as well as the journey of other chronic disease warriors around the world, just to try to help people understand what it's like, how it affects your mental health, how it affects your family, how it affects your career. Today, I am talking to an MSer from over in the UK. I met Vic about 6 months ago on TikTok. I love everything that she has to say. She was diagnosed with her MS in 2011. Vic is also really big in the MS Society over in the UK, and we're going to talk a lot about that. But please welcome to the podcast, Vic. How you doing today, Vic?
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Really looking forward.
Yeah, absolutely, Vic. You know, I met you about 6 months ago. I got to know you a lot, just talking to you every day in lives, and I love everything that you're about. You're very big in the community. A lot of people respect you, what you have to say. So I just appreciate everything you're about, Vic. So in 2011,
Thank
Vic,
you.
in 2011, Vic, you got your diagnosis with your MS. Can you kind of just take us through what led to you getting told that you had MS back in 2011?
Yeah, it actually started only in 2010, October. I was an account manager and my eyeball sort of dropped to the corner of my eye. And literally, I just thought, oh my God, it's me using my laptop too much. So I went to my doctor, who then sent me to the eye hospital, who then sent me to an emergency hospital where they did scans and a spinal tap and then let me go. And then literally after a month, the whole of my left side became really numb. So I had to go back, but I went back to a different hospital, St. George's, and then they again did more tests, another lumbar puncture, and then let me go. And I was just like, what the hell? And then just before New Year, I collapsed and I was taken into hospital and they kept me in and they was doing all these tests and then let me go. And I was like, for God's sake, what's going on? And then the final time, it was March of 2011, they took me in hospital again and said, oh, we need to do some tests. And I was in hospital for about 2 weeks. And then on the 18th of March, this nurse came up to my bed and said, oh, the doctor's letting you go home now. I said, oh, great. I was like, any chance of we know what these tests have come back with? And then she literally stood there and went, oh, yes, you've just got MS.
Wow, Vic. I know back when I was 27 years old, when they told me I had MS, I was scared. I didn't even understand what multiple sclerosis was. The only thing that I knew about MS was there was an old actor from the Mickey Mouse days, Annette Funicello, and she was in a wheelchair. And my first thought was, man, you're screwed. 27 years old, you're going to be in a wheelchair. What were the first thoughts that were going through your head when you got that diagnosis that you had MS?
I was obviously only 29, and I just thought, that's it. I'm finished.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think about being in a wheelchair or anything. I just thought that was it. My life was over. Not like there was any choices to go forwards. Because when I looked on Google, it just looked so negative, and I just thought, I don't want to live. That's not who I am. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
So to me, I just thought that was it. My life was over.
I appreciate that. Back when I was 27, we didn't even have the internet really. It was just starting to pop up, and I didn't, I couldn't go to Google. And I think the first thing that I thought of was like, oh, hell no, man. I mean, if I'm only 27 years old and I'm in good shape and I'm just going to keep on fighting. And that's kind of the attitude that I took. I didn't want to look at this thing as a negative thing. I was just like, it is what it is. This is just another roadblock that you come up with in life, and you got to figure a way to keep on going. And, that's kind of the way that I attacked it. But I know that a lot of people are like you. They think that their life's over. And I that's the reason that I do this podcast now, is because I try to let people know, your life isn't over. Just because you got that diagnosis, okay, you got a diagnosis, it's MS, it's chronic, it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. But you got a lot of life left to live, and you just got to figure out the path you're going to go down.
Exactly. Like now, one of my mottos is, I have MS. MS doesn't have me.
Right.
So it's like, so I control that. I'm in control, because as soon as you feel like you're not in control, I feel like everything's going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try and tell myself I have MS.
Right.
And I guess it's like a little bit for your mental health as well. That just helps you stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, when I was first diagnosed, I did think it was over, but then I met the MS Society in the UK. I was diagnosed in the March, and then I met them in the June. And that's when I started volunteering for them, and they changed my whole perception of MS.
Yeah.
Literally, you're going through a dark tunnel, but there is a light there.
Yeah.
And it's your choice to follow that route.
Right. I know I know we're going to talk a lot about the MS Society, because there's such a difference between the UK and the United States. But I just want to stay on your path when you got that diagnosis, and you said that you were going into Google and all that. How did you try to eventually wrap your head around the diagnosis, and how did you attack it? What was your DMT with your doctors? How did your doctors treat you with your DMT? I mean, how did that path go, Vic?
When I was first diagnosed, literally I had quite a few relapses within a very short space of time. And my consultant put me straight on a DMT called Tysabri, which I believe United States have as well.
Yeah.
But there's also a virus in our body called the JC virus.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, we can have a test called a Titer test, which tells you how high your JC level is. So how at risk you are by taking Tysabri.
Mm-hmm.
And I had mine, and unfortunately, it was very high. So, like I said to the consultant, it's my body, it's my MS, and I'm deciding to go through. Still taking Tysabri, even though all my markers are screaming, "You've got JC, sorry, and you're higher." I said to her, I said, I could walk out of this hospital and get run over by a bus. I have to take this risk, because I'm not being the person that I first thought about when I read Google 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started Tysabri, and I was on that from 2011 to 2016.
Okay.
And then I did start having side effects, etc. So they took me off Tysabri, and they put me on a pill called fingolimod.
Okay.
And I was on that from 2016 to 2026. And literally 5 weeks ago, I started one called Pomvori, which I know the United States don't have. And it is quite a brand new one in the UK.
I know we were talking about that in a live a couple weeks ago, Vic, and you were telling me about it, and I never heard of it. And
Yeah.
and you were telling me about it. How's your body been? How's it been reacting with your body? What kind of a treatment is it? First of all, is
It,
subcutaneous or
it,
is it an
it,
IV?
no, it's a pill a day.
Okay.
Um, you are started on a 14-day, and then in the 14-day course, every 2 days you go up 1 milligram. So from day 1 to day 14, you go from 1 to 10 milligrams over 14 days. And then from 14 to day 15, you go from 10 to 20 milligrams. And I must admit, it it really did not react with my body well.
Mm,
And I was really ill with it. And loads of people kept telling me to come off it, tell my neurologist, I don't want it.
yeah.
But I'm a type of person who likes to take the risk. And this is such a new one. And it works differently than other DMTs as well. This attaches to your white blood cells. So yeah, it's completely different by the accounts.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
even though now I still get a bit of chest pain, etc., I've started managing it because if I take my DMT between 5 and 5:15 in the evening, and then I have to take another medication called amitriptyline about 10 o'clock, that 5 hour gap is much better for the pain and my heart rate, etc.,
Okay.
because my heart rate used to drop. So it's just me finding a way how to make everything work
Right.
exactly what you do with your whole body.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, it's your path. You got to figure out, you got to tweak it. I've tweaked meds. I've cut meds in half, and I've only taken half, like at one point in a day, and then take the other half at another point in a day. You got to customize the way your body reacts to the meds and do it your way. And the DMT isn't like that's a journey in itself. I mean, I've been on about 5 different DMTs in my 28 years. You do good on some of them, you fail on some of them. I'm just really interested in the new med. I mean, that thing's not even over in the United States, and I hope that thing keeps you into remission and keeps your MS down for as long as it possibly can,
So,
Vic.
yeah, I've read all the fact sheets, etc., and the success rate with the relapses and etc. is they saying like it's an extra 30% on top of a normal DMT.
Hmm.
So you're talking about 60% there. Um, and I've been on it 5 weeks, and I feel like I've got more energy in my body,
That's
even
awesome.
though I still have the chest pain, and I'm getting used to it. I'm noticing a difference.
Yeah,
So once I've taken it, I've got a bit more of a spring in my step.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it,
we're always looking for something just to like make us feel halfway normal. That's all I want.
yeah,
Keep me out of pain, keep me upright, and keep me functioning, and I'm good. If I
oh, so right there, Brian.
yeah. So let me ask you this, Vic. Back when you went through your diagnosis, you went through your DMT, you got your DMTs. Let's talk about your support system and the mental health part of it, because I know that has always been the hardest part for me. How have you managed the mental health and your family supports and your friend supports?
Um, my, I, I was with. She was actually going to be my wife, but yeah, her name was Jo, so I was with her, and she was a really good support for me at the beginning.
Hmm.
I must say, my family, my mum's motto is, "We cross that bridge when we come to it," and I'm like, "Mum, we're at that bridge now. Hello." So that's always been really hard.
Yeah.
But my best friend Amy, when we first met, she knew nothing about MS. Honestly, she could be a neurologist now because she comes to every appointment with me and researches every DMT and guides me. So it just has that little whisper in my ear just to, I don't know, it's a bit of validation, I guess.
Yeah.
When I make a decision, she goes, "Yeah, I think that's right." I think, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing good."
Isn't that
Um,
isn't that
but yeah,
important? Isn't that important just to have somebody there with you that, not necessarily understands what it's like to have MS, but just to be there to support you, whether it's a family or a friend. And I know a lot of people don't have that, but it is so
yeah.
important in our journey, isn't it, Vic?
It is. You know, we were laughing the other day. We went to the theatre up in London, and then I was standing in a shop about to buy a drink, and she calls it my ballerina because I like lose my balance. But even though I'm about to lose my balance, her hand's there, like to catch me. And it's like she knows, like, oh, she's going, and she knows what way I'm going to go, or
Yeah.
and that is just like it says, support. It's great, and when like you get things in your head like when you feel like you're in a burden and oh my God, I'm like this. And then she's actually there going, will you shut up?
Right.
Literally,
Yeah.
pull your socks up. She won't indulge me in my self-pity. She will be like, are you having a laugh? Get up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then it like relights your fire.
It's just so
So
important.
yeah,
It's so important. I have a couple of friends that are like that with me. You know, and one of them is a longtime friend. His name's Mike, and I've known him since I was 14 years old. And I can call that guy up, and he would be at my house in 10 minutes if I needed him. And it's just really,
yeah,
it's really important to me to have somebody like that. You know, he's not even family, but I mean, he's that close of a friend. And I have friends up at the lake that are like that. In the summertime when I go up there, I mean, those guys will bend over backwards for me, and just because they understand it, they understand what I
oh,
have. And that's so important to our mental health, just having people around us that get it and they don't question us.
100%.
They don't question like, oh, you know, are you lazy? Are you antisocial? I mean, they just get it. They understand that we're sick and they work with us instead of against us.
And we're trying our best.
Yeah.
That's the most like like Amy like knows that I'm trying my best and that's all I can do. So and she knows that if I say I can't do that, she knows that I mean I can't do that because I will always try. And then if I can't, like I can't, she knows it's 100% real. You're not, you know, it's yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
let's
amazing to have someone like that.
And that kind of leads me into the community that we met on. I know we met on TikTok. We have a lot of the same friends that we hang around with. And I know that like
We do.
the people that don't have that family support or that friend support, you can find that on TikTok. I'm 55 years old, and if you would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have told you you're out of your mind. I'm not getting on TikTok and talking with people, but you know, since I've done it and the people that I met, I think it's an unbelievable place to find that community with people that you can relate with, that understand what you're going through, and to pick people up that are down and scared, you know?
It really is. It's an amazing place to be, because you could be feeling so down and dreary, and be in one of those rooms for 5-10 minutes, and you know you got to remember someone like Tigger who's banging out her tunes and dancing around the room.
Yeah.
It's just instantly puts a smile on your face, or someone comes in who's really down, and you think actually that person's worse off than me,
Yeah.
and then you've got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you're like, here, let me help you.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing community. And I've noticed that the American community is much bigger than the English community. Like we don't really have many chats like that or lives, and that's why I end up in your guys'
Yeah.
chat because even though I'm over across the pond, I feel so loved and supported in that room,
Oh, yeah. You know,
which is absolutely amazing. You know, we're all strangers at the end of the day, Brian,
right.
but we're all there for each other.
Right. And that's what I say to people all the time. I mean, MS doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're in the United States, Canada, if you're in Spain, if you're in the UK, if you're in Norway. It doesn't care what race you are. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what religion you are. It doesn't care your political views. I mean, MS doesn't give a shit.
Right.
So why should we care? You know, we just kind of invite everybody in. You got a chronic disease? Come on, we'll pick you up. You know, ride the train with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us, you know, it's not like, oh, let us give you medical advice. It's nothing like that. It's let's give you life advice because if you do this, this, and this, you'll feel so much better.
Right.
And then someone's like, oh my God, I've never thought of that.
Right.
And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. I really do love it. And I'm quite enthusiastic about your guys' lives because I do love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are amazing. So I thank you guys for that
I
and
think
adopting an English woman.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another thing that I wanted to get into with you. And I know we talked about this before we recorded, and I think that there's such a disparity between the UK and the US is the MS Society. I've had dealings with the MS Society in
Yeah.
my 28 years. I don't have a lot of good things to say about the United States MS Society, but talk about the UK because the stuff that you're telling me what you guys do over there is badass. I wish the
Yeah.
United States would copy this, but talk a little bit about what you do with the MS Society and how that they help the people that have this disease.
Exactly. Well, my MS Society, I'm a group coordinator, so it means I run a branch locally, and I have 150 members, and I have 7 volunteers. There's also a national MS Society. Now, Brian, say someone like you who needed help, you'd ring national to sort of say, I need some help. Can you put me in touch with someone? And say if you lived in my area, they'd pass you my details, then you would probably contact me.
Hmm.
And then like me and my support volunteer would come and see you. Just sit you down, have a chat, see what was wrong, like how we could help you.
Yeah.
And we do like employment, housing, benefits, and we do grants. Our main goal is to come around and see you and then try and take as much stress off you because being diagnosed with MS is a stressful situation.
Yep.
So if the MS Society can do anything for you, we will do it for you. One of my members who needed new flooring because of her wheelchair wouldn't go over the carpet,
Yeah.
we installed that for her. So we gave her £1,000 towards it, and she has put a couple of £100 to it. But it was taking off that massive bill, and then only found a few hundred,
That
and
is
she was happy.
That is amazing, Vic. I'm blown away by the MS Society over in the UK. I know you talk about all the other things. You can talk about the cars thing that they do with you. You guys over there, the MS Society over here in the US. In 28 years, I've called them a couple of times. I have gotten absolutely nowhere with them. No help. I've gotten spun. The only thing it seems like over here in the United States that the MS Society cares about is fundraising and to get money for them. I mean, I never see help going out to the actual people that have the disease. And I just think it's awesome. The MS Society over in UK is completely different than ours.
Yes, that's really saddened me that you guys have to help the MS Society and they don't help you back. Last year, my group, my branch, we actually raised £100,000 for research, and I was still, I could still. Last year, I gave out over £23,000 in grants.
Yeah.
So it just showed how much money we can make by fundraising and donation from people. I actually did a skydive, which raised £5,000. So, but the 10 minutes of the dreaded fear that I had jumping out of that plane, so worth it because that probably helped about 3 people with a floor or a sofa,
Yeah.
and it's just more rewarding.
Yeah.
And it does really sadden me that your MS Society don't offer that.
Yeah.
Because if you ring our national number, you've got like the solicitors on there, MS nurses on there, therapists on there, and we're all about helping people with MS.
And that's
We
what
also
and that's what we need, especially early in this diagnosis. You got a lot of people that are scared. You need the mental health part needs addressed right off the rip. And a lot of
yeah,
a
definitely.
lot of people just feel lost when they get that diagnosis. They don't know where to turn, and they call the MS Society. I've talked to people over here in the United States that have called the MS Society wherever they live, down in Texas or wherever, and they say they get nowhere. They get no help, and that's sad. I mean, and it's awesome that over in the UK, at least you guys are doing it right over there.
Yeah, see, we have over 200 branches in the UK, and it's mainly down by area. So, like my area, I have 150 members. In the next borough, I know they have like 220 members. So, if you're diagnosed with MS, my hospital, the local, they actually have all my details. So, if someone's actually diagnosed with MS in my area, MS nurse will give them my details because we don't want them alone.
Yeah.
Once every 6 months, the hospital puts on an event and it's called Newly Diagnosed Day, where people that are newly diagnosed come and listen. And we have consultants, MS nurses, researchers, people from NICE who license our medication. And it's a day which that is all funded by the MS Society,
Wow.
not by the hospital.
Wow. That's awesome.
And yeah, so we want to put those days on so people are knowledgeable and to show that there is stuff out there for people and you're not alone, because feeling alone is going to make you feel 10 times worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Vic, if anybody wanted to connect with you on TikTok, and just to friend you, follow you, and to connect with you, what is your handle on TikTok? Because I know you don't go by Vic.
No, I go by Mary Poppins because I'm English.
Right.
Because I hang out with you guys.
Yeah. So I'm going to put that in the podcast description if you want to hook up with Vic on TikTok. She's an awesome, awesome lady. And Vic, I have a couple other questions I want to ask you. You had this disease since 2011. I've had it since 97. What keeps you motivated to keep going every day? I know that a lot of people, they get to a point where they just want to give up and they're just like, I'm done. And you just keep on getting up every day. You keep on pushing. You keep on trying to spread awareness. What is your motivation that keeps you going every day?
I feel that what I do for them as society, if I keep doing that and I keep seeing the rewards on other people's faces, it makes me feel so much better because I know I'm helping someone. Because the way I felt at the beginning, I never want anyone to experience a nurse coming up going, oh, you've just got MS. That's why the MS nurses have our details so they can contact us straight away. So to me, I always say, yes, you're in a dark tunnel. But if you look to your right, there's a light there and it's down to you if you want to follow it. And my suggestion is you follow it. Follow the light. Because as soon as you stop your brain working, your body's going to stop.
Yeah.
But just keep that going.
I love it. I love it, Vic. And I always tell everybody that I meet that gets diagnosed, that the physical part of this disease sucks. I'm not going to lie, but I think that's the part that everybody focuses on. They're like, I can't walk anymore. I'm walking with a limp. I need a cane. I need a walker. I need a wheelchair. What is that affecting really? It's affecting your mental health. And I think that taking charge of the mental part as early as you can is so important. I mean, the physical part sucks and you need to get exercise to keep your mobility as long as you possibly can. You need to get exercise, but take care of the mind. The mind is more important to me in the long run. You got to take care of both of them. You got to take care of the body and the mind.
Yeah, exactly. The mind is the most important part. As I said, keeping that going will keep the rest of you going. I'm very grateful that I've been with the MS Society for 15 years, group coordinator for the past 6, because if I didn't have that, I don't know where I'd be. Because like I said at the beginning, the first 3 months was a dark tunnel, and then I met the MS Society.
Yeah.
And they pulled me out of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful to them. And then obviously very grateful to you guys on TikTok, because there's been days that I've come in going,
yeah.
You guys have laughed and said, look, come on, pull yourself together.
Right.
You're Mary Poppins, get on with it. And you're 100% right. And sometimes you just need that kick.
Yeah. I know when you come into lives, you're always making people smile. Vic, you always have
Thank you.
You always have a smart ass comment. You always try to bring levity into the room, and you succeed at it. And I just love everything that you're about. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody that might be new in this journey, especially over in the UK? If you're over in the UK, you need to connect with your MS Society, but is there anything that you want to tell anybody that's new in this journey to keep on
What I say to my new members is, obviously we hold socials where members get together, etc. And then I always say to them, please don't look at my older members and think that's what I'm going to become, because research has moved on massively from when they were your age. and this is your MS. So don't compare yourself to anyone else.
Right.
Like my friend don't use a cane and I have to. So what? Like you said,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Just keep on doing it your way and you'll find a way how to live with it and it become your MS then.
Yep. I love it, Vic. I love it. Like I said, I love everything that you're about, Vic. The sun's always going to come up in the morning, no matter how bad you think this is going to be. I've been there. This is a tough disease. It's not an easy road, but it is a manageable road if you just have the right attitude and the right commitment to it. You got to commit to it. You got to commit to a plan, and you got to commit to like a DMT if you're going to go that route. If you're not going to go a DMT route, you commit to it, but you got to commit to something one way or another. You get that diagnosis, commit.
Exactly. And then, like I say to them, they say, oh, but the doctor says this is good and this is good. And like I said, you go in there and it's your MS. Doctor's there to advise you. But if you don't want to do it, don't do it because it's your MS. You have the pain.
Yep.
But a doctor there just to advise you, not to tell you what to do.
Yep. Absolutely, Vic.
And yeah, as long as you keep those factors in your head, you're going to get on fine because your life's not over. And join TikTok and you'll meet amazing people.
Yep, absolutely, Vic. All right, I'm going to start wrapping it up. If you want to follow Vic on TikTok, I will put her handle in there, Mary Poppins. Awesome lady. Vic, you always have a spot to come back on and talk about your MS and the MS Society over in the UK. I love everything that you're about, and I really appreciate you for coming on today, Vic.
Brian, thank you so much for having me.
All right. If you want to follow me on TikTok, you can find me MS Michigan Man 64. You can find me on Instagram, MS Michigan Man 64. And I'm on Facebook, Brian Wallace out of Brunswick, Ohio. Hit the subscribe button, share it out. We want to be understood. The best way to be understood is to listen to us talk. Till the next episode, this is the MS Michigan Man 64. I am out.